Have I told you my Open conundrum? My problem that I've got with the Open? Have I told you this?
Would you rather a beautiful swing in an average golf game or an ugly swing but an unreal golf game?
You keep digging, Tom. You just keep doing all that stuff because we're going to find this clip and we're going to use it when Hovland wins.
I don't care what it looks like as long as it performs for me. Yeah, that's all I would care about. As long as it performs for me, that's fine.
Who is going to win the USPGA? Hello, welcome along. Here we go again. This is Golf is Ruining My Life. We're on the turn. It's been said for a while, Tom Green, but we are on the turn.
This is the back nine of season number 3. But unlike other seasons where we've taken a break due to factors, we're just going to be continuing this time. There is no stopping of this podcast. It will just keep going until either we become bigger than Rich Shields or die.
Fine. I think I know which is going to happen first. Check your cholesterol.
Death comes for us all, my man. Death comes for us all. And I think I speak for both Tom and I when I say there's too much going on.
There's too much going on in the context of golf, in the context of life. At the moment, my life is ruining my golf. Can I give you a quick bit of colour? I mean, obviously the shirt I'm wearing, thank you, Royal and Awesome. That will give you a bit of colour if you choose to watch this on YouTube. You will see what I'm wearing. But also, we've got a plumber downstairs trying to fix one of our taps. And in order to do that, we had to switch the water off. I'm trying to make this boring story as quick as possible, so I'll speak quicker, yeah? That's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, that works.
We had to switch the water off. In order to test the water was off, he put a tap on in the understairs toilet, went, yeah, water's off, and then he did some stuff, and then went, actually, you can turn the water back on. So I turned the water on at the mains and forgot that the tap was on in the understairs toilet, and it flooded the floor in the understairs toilet. And then...
That's so annoying.
And then setting up for this, I spilt a full coffee on laptop and keyboard and phone, and it's just been
yeah. I feel like we've really had a week of it because podcast friends, we all know that this podcast has grown and changed over the last 12 months since we'd launched it. We almost did a full year of it just being me and Tom talking every single week in a very calm, very enjoyable manner. And then out of nowhere, we ramped the thing up to 1 million, and everything's filmed, and we're filming on golf courses, and we've got guests, and we've got social media and all this sort of stuff. And this episode is obviously a PGA special, as you know that from the title, and this is going out today on Thursday, on the day we record. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but we were filming on a golf course, and we were so tired at the end, we just said we can't do it and went home.
Isn't it sickening, though, when we're like, I got home, my son was like, hang on, you said you've been at work, you've got golf stuff on, and you've got your golf clubs with you. And I was like, no, I've been working. Daddy's been working. And it was this really weird moment where this thing I love was like, it was hard work. It was gorgeous. I loved every second. It was so much fun, and we can't wait for you to watch the Versus video. But it was hard work, Tombo.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the edit to go online, because yesterday we filmed the first ever episode of the Versus series. Yeah. So episode 1 of what's probably going to be like a 8, 10, 12 episode run on YouTube. Yeah. Me, Tom Green, versus that guy, Tom Price. To see who's the better golfer. Like, it's really exciting, because I'm going to start 5 under for the handicap reasons. You're going to start sort of all square. Yeah. You hate when I say that, don't you? You know what I mean? Like, you equal, or whatever the hell it's called.
You've got one of those mental glitches that you just can't help but say all square. And I love it, because I've got about 1,000 mental glitches like that. So it's nice that you've got one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to start at 0 or whatever, and I'm going to start 5 under, and then we're going to battle it out over 9 holes to see who can come out on top. And it's a really good watch, because there is some god-awful golf, and there's some okay golf. There's some quite nice moments. Like I don't want to give too much away, but like my driving was great. I got to say my putting was pretty good yesterday. My iron play was some of the worst it's ever been.
You know what, mate? I'm calling it. Your putting was the best I've ever seen you putt. You putted like a proper single-figure golfer yesterday, and I'm thinking, is this aim point? Is this what we're doing here?
I don't think it's aim point. I think it is. I've got a bit of a system with the way that I take the club back now, and as opposed to it being quite wobbly in the past like it has been, I really lock my arms in now and just commit to the putt, and I'm just feeling things out a little bit more and trusting my eye. I think aim points really helped with me going, okay, that's where this is breaking. Yeah. Commit to it and just go for it.
There is a moment, isn't there, when Tom has to leave the process. I remember when I first got my brand new putter, or rather, I remember when my putter was brand new, like 3 years ago, and I had this incredible run of 3 or 4 rounds where this sounds mad. What I'm about to say sounds crazy, okay? Will you bear with me for that?
Yeah, of
even by
course.
my standards. I sort of imagined that the putter knew what it was doing, and it wasn't there. And yeah, I told you. And I was like,
Yeah,
I would
crazy.
look at it and go, right, the putter wants to do that. I know. And I would do it, and I swear to God, some of the best putting rounds of my life because I just took myself away from the equation. I mean, I went on some sort of weird mental holiday, but
Some sort of yogi experience.
but I really absented myself from putting, and I just let my putter do it. And I don't know, does this work across golf? When you take yourself, and Rotella talks about this, get yourself out the way.
Yeah, there's no logic in what I'm about to say other than I think it's true, and I think this will hit home with a lot of people. I think naturally we all have, when we've learned to play golf to a certain level, we naturally know how to putt. We can naturally read things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we put so much pressure and stress on top of putting that it gets in the way of what we actually know.
Yeah.
So when you get to a certain level and you can read a putt and you learn to go, okay, I'll walk all the way around the hole and I'll get a read and I'll feel it out and go, okay, when you've got that, it is better than just to go, I'm just going to let my body decide, because that's all I did yesterday. I didn't overthink anything. I just looked at it, went, okay, it's a left to right. It's pretty big braking. That feels about right. Off we go. Because not only was again, I don't want to give too much away from the first episode, but
It's so good.
not
by the way,
only
it's so good.
it's so exciting for this to be online. Not only was my reads good, my distance was bang on.
Yeah.
And that's where I sometimes go wrong.
Yeah. Your distances were good. But to get back to the putting thing, I played a foursomes match the other day, and which is every other shot, right? And so there were a few putts which we had, and Amos and I, my partner, we talked about the putt for ages. Like, we talked and looked at it, and like, because there were people in front of us, so we had time. And there was something brilliant about that. I loved doing that. And that long conversation, he then hit a couple of wonderful putts. It was his putt. But admittedly, there was two of us having that conversation. But there's something about doing all the talking and then just going, right, now execute. And that's when you absent yourself.
Don't you think we had that as well yesterday? Because for the first time ever, because we were being filmed, we spoke through every single shot, through club selection and distance to the green and what we were trying to achieve. And sometimes it wouldn't happen, e.g. my second shot on the first. We'll come back to that. Sometimes it did. There was moments where I'd be like, okay, I want to hit like a high draw here, or I want to open up the green a little bit, so I'm just going to take a pitching wedge, and it came off, and it was nice. That 4 iron on the third that I hit, and I was like, I just want to hit this low thing, and it was what it was, and I think that was really helpful. It was, instead of just doing it in your mind, there was a physical action of talking through the shots, and it was really beneficial.
Yeah, you played pretty much the best golf I've seen you play yesterday. Also, equally, you played amongst the worst golf I've seen either of us play yesterday. We both did. I hit some really bad shots. So, guys, if you do go and watch the Versus series, and don't worry, we'll let you know when it's coming out. Then do sort of get over the first couple of holes, because the standard does get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I reckon we'll end up doing an episode of the podcast which is like a full debrief of that first episode when it comes out. And I don't want to sort of wet the powder.
Okay.
Is that it?
Why not?
Okay.
Chips? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You know what I'm trying to say right now, because obviously none of this is out yet. But we went into this yesterday going, right, we're going to be, we're not going to be as good as like your Peter Finches and your Rick Shields, but like, we're decent golfers, man. Like, this is going to look good. And my God, did that fall away quickly.
We had a really serious conversation about, because no one wants to watch people sculling the ball along the ground. And if they do want to watch that, there's definitely other podcasts and other YouTube shows available for that. But we don't want to do that. We want to be hitting good 6 irons into the middle of the green and maybe getting a birdie. That's what makes some of the better YouTube golfers interesting. And we want to try and punch above our weight. And we didn't. We did not do that initially at all.
No. I would say I think it's the first hole. Just get past the first hole. It's a par 4, and I would say try and get past the first 4 shots. But for me, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots. Like, there's a lot of shots on the first hole.
There's a lot of shots and a lot of something else that sounds the same. Similar word, different letter. It was really good fun, but it was tiring. So anyone listening to this now and do you know what, Tombo? I often imagine people listening to this are on their way to the golf course, because whenever I go and play golf, I have like a 25-minute drive to get to the course, and I like to listen to the same thing, which is not this podcast. But it's weird for me to listen to
don't listen to yourself.
our podcast back. But I feel like I want a getting ready for a round podcast to listen to. So I really hope guys out there listening to this on the way to the course, right? Can I just say that? straight away. I think.
I think that's a nice idea to listen to this show on the way to the course. I think people listen to this on commutes. Yeah. That's why I listen to a lot of golf podcasts on commutes. I listen to a lot of golf podcasts when walking my dog. If you are looking for something to listen to on the way to the course, let me recommend an app. Who I know these guys a little bit, and they're doing amazing work. And the app is called Golf Guru. Yeah. And I've used it a little bit, and it's really exciting. And if there is something you want to use pre-teeing off. Yeah. There's like a lot of meditation and stuff in there, and it's quite an interesting. They'll come on the show. We could speak to them if we want to chat with them because they're really interesting.
Because that's, do you know what? That has sort of pinpointed what I feel like we're trying to do with this. I do feel like I want to, I mean, maybe not as far as meditation or mental yoga, but I want people listening to this and getting to the end of it just as they start to tee off and feeling like they're in the right place. Like, there's something about if I watch a good YouTube golf round like Shield 75, the way he approaches it makes me feel like I'm in a good mental place to play. And I hope we can provide a podcast version of that.
Yeah, or at least a podcast version of when it all goes wrong, you're not the only one. You know, you're not the only one for it to fall apart. But I really enjoyed yesterday, even though I played, my scoring was, I don't want to give anything away, but like, yeah, I'm not going to say, because we'll do this on another episode, and I'm very conscious that this is the Thursday of a major, and come on. We need to talk about the fact that the PGA's on.
Yes.
It's major season. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's finally underway. And what I love straight off the bat about this USPGA is the coverage starts at 1 p.m. So there is no waiting until 7, 8 p.m. You can get stuck in at lunchtime. This is a proper job affecting big tournament. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I love when you can stick Sky Sports on and just have it on in the background when you're either at work or if you do what I do and only work 3 hours a day. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time where you can watch the golf. And I'm not a cricket fan, so I don't have this, but I romanticize the idea of like having the cricket on in summer with the doors open and it being on all day. It's nice when golf. You can only normally have that with the Open in the UK. Yes. It's nice when you can get some American golf that falls into that as well.
Yeah, and just have that in the background because it is the first couple of rounds they're going to be crucial. It's obviously it's a difficult course. It's got that sort of US Open vibe. The rough sounds like it's deadly. Fitzpatrick as well. Did you see Matt Fitzpatrick wearing the mittens? I mean, it's cold. It seems that it was certainly cold when he was playing the other day in New York State. He had the old gloves on. Bit of a throwback.
I didn't see that, but I sometimes think that throws off American golfers is the changing weather. Tiger really struggles with that now. He can, like, I was listening to something the other day talking about how Tiger might get to the point where he can only play if the weather is good, and that's why he struggled so much at Augusta this year, because as soon as it goes cold, he'll tightens up and he's getting on a bit, so he's not used to that. And even the younger guys,
any break you've had, so I had a break in my wrist 15 years ago, and any break in a cold weather, a break, you feel the ache. So what Tiger's been through just in terms of the crash alone, that must hurt. Like, I mean, the guy's, it's excruciating to watch sometimes, isn't it? When Tiger walks, you can see the pain.
Yeah, you can see the physical pain, but let's be honest. And I think we're okay to say this. And I'm gonna just ask you a question. Can you please rank the majors from most favourite to least favourite?
Oh, well, if I'm honest, this is probably this or the US Open are my least favourites. Masters first, Open second, and then US Open or USPGA third, joint third. This probably comes third because it's the second one, so I'm still stupidly excited about it.
Yeah,
I do. I approve of them moving it, don't you? Because this was always right at the back end of the season, and it was August, and you're almost sort of thinking about Ryder Cup or Winter Golf, and I quite like this chunk now. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think having it at this stage of the year means people are really excited about golf. The season is just starting. Like when the Masters is on in the UK, golf season hasn't even really got going yet. Yeah. So people are now out on the course. It's nice to watch, but for me, the PGA is the least good major. Yeah. I actually think I would put the Players higher than this in things that I like to watch. Yeah. Maybe even Waste Management, which is it is bonkers to say that I would prefer to watch the Waste Management, which is one of the opening events on the PGA Tour, more than a major.
No, I think that's a really great thing, and I think that shows that the tour is changing and that things have moved on a lot in the last couple of years. But also, Waste Management is so early on in the season, and the hype has created the Bear Pit, man. The par 3 Bear Pit has turned it into a point of pride to win that tournament. I mean, the pride you must feel to win any tournament, must be huge. But to win that one especially must feel like a proper stripe on your shoulder. So I completely agree with you. The reputation of some of these tournaments have turned them into majors, definitely.
And I don't know whether this is just because I'm getting more into golf and I'm learning so much more about it, and it's overtaking my life in a work sense as well. But each one of these PGA Tour events now, especially the more important ones, are getting a identity of their own.
Yes.
Like whether it's Harbour Town and it's that beautiful course and it's the red lighthouse. Like they've all got these little signature things that I think really elevate them, which the PGA doesn't have. I just think the PGA lacks.
The Masters is has such an impact and personality. You're absolutely right. Other tournaments are starting to get those now. It's spot on. It's great.
I do love watching the Open, though. I think potentially for me, the Open is better than the Masters.
I find that very difficult to agree with. I think the Masters, because of where it comes in the season and how beautiful it looks and the evening thing and the novelty of the season beginning. However, the Open is, it's very, very close. It's very close. Have I told you my Open conundrum, my problem that I've got with the Open? Have I told you this?
What, the Open this year?
Oh, no. Mate. Ads. Here's some products. We're going to talk more about the USPGA in a second. I have got an issue with the Open. Stand by. So it's Golf is Ruining My Life. And the Open this year is happening in July, as usual, at Royal Liverpool. And, I have got a ticket for 2 adults and a child on the Friday. Amazing. Got them.
Wow.
Paid for them. Done them. Got them. It's my son's last day of his primary school that day.
Right, so are you... Okay,
I know.
So are you talking about taking him out of school to take him to the golf?
I couldn't care less about doing that. I'd do that in a heartbeat if it was just a normal school day, especially at his age. I'm sorry, but it's fine. It's his last day, and this is a big kind of important, emotional kind of everyone's running around signing each other's shirts. It's a kind of iconic day in their little lives. And I need to be there to weep because you don't have kids, Tom. You will get this in spades when you do. It's a big moment for them to finish primary school on that day. But he's obsessed with golf, Tombo. He's obsessed with golf. Like literally, if he saw Scotty Scheffler walk past him, I think he'd start crying. So I don't know what to do.
There's no way you can take him out of school for golf. There's no way.
What do you mean?
That day is too important.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Because that major will come around every single year. Yeah. Those final days in school, I still remember those final days in school, running around, signing shirts.
It's that day. It's the shining shirt day.
It's the most important day.
Okay.
And
wow.
if this is his final day in primary school.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have ever had a day like this.
No, okay, fine. Great, thank you. I appreciate that because you love golf as much as me and you don't have kids. So for you to even manage to sweep around and put that on kids means it's got to be primary school. Oh, that's helpful.
And I'll happily dress as a child and come with you. Leave them. You don't need to be there at his final day. This is more for him than you. Yeah. I will shave my beard and be a child.
And legs, put some shorts on.
I'm not that tall. So, I could probably get away with it. There are primary school children who are also 5'5" like me. I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8".
I would love to insist on you walking around all day long going, Daddy, sorry, can we go and look at the 13th now? Amazing. Okay, fine. So there are 2 tickets and a junior ticket going for sale on the Friday of the Open this summer. There you are. You heard it here first.
Just to go back to the feeling that I have in my belly right now, I really want to thrust it onto everyone. If you're not in where I am right now in the mindset of a major is coming. We are about to have a weekend of watching amazing golfers battle out for something really important. Yep. And I've had this discussion so many times with other people recently, but these majors are even more important now that Live Golf has stolen some of my favourite players. Yep. It's a time to have Cam Smith back in our lives.
Yeah, I know. Brooksy. Well, look, here we are. We're starting to work out what's going to happen at the USPGA. Brooksy. I hope to hell people aren't listening or watching this and he's already bombed on the first couple of days. But I think he's got to be in there. Really? Yeah, man. He proved something to himself at the Masters. He says that he choked. I'm not convinced he choked. He wasn't the full Greg Norman, 96. But he is... I think Brooks has got to a point where his golf suddenly lived up to what he knew it could be, and he just needs his mind to catch up. And I think those two things will sync up, and I think Brooksy's going to be in with a shout. I think there's a few others, but I think Brooksy's going to be really close.
I think Cam Young.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Totally.
I'm excited about it. Outside bet for you. Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
So he has been trending really well on the PGA. He's had loads of top 10 finishes. And there is a lot of talk about how he's 44, he's in the best shape ever, he's got a bit of confidence, he's played well on the PGA over the last few months. And this is the thing with all these majors, is I feel like it's more about who's trending in the right direction as opposed to people who can just switch it on. Because you can't just switch
Not
it
for
on.
4 days. You can blow up and shoot at 62 and everyone goes, wow, amazing. But to win the tournament over 4 days is you're right, you have to be trending in that direction.
So Adam Scott trending, playing amazing golf.
Love him as well. And also the most beautiful golf swing you will ever see. Like
the most beautiful.
Like, I will watch that in slow motion 6 or 7 times and get my family to gather around, including the members of my family who don't like golf.
This is how it should be done. Everyone watch how it should be done. But it just, here's an interesting one. How do you feel about this? Would you rather a good swing? Would you rather a beautiful swing in an average golf game, or an ugly swing but an unreal golf game?
I would. What you're doing is asking how vain am I, and you can see by the shirt that I'm wearing, I'm a vain man. I would rather have a beautiful swing, but not be that good. Which
is that right?
Yeah,
Surely not.
I love a good swing. I just love watching. I could watch Justin Thomas or Rory. I just think it's brilliant. And then I see an ugly swing, and I'm just like, oh, I have to look away.
That is really funny because I would always the other way around. I don't care what it looks like as long as it performs for me. Yeah, that's all I would care about. As long as it performs for me, that's fine.
That's a lol sentence. There's no innuendo there, is there? Don't care what it looks like. As long as it performs for me, as long as it does the job.
Do you think Jon Rahm's got a nice swing, or do you think that's a bit ugly?
No, I think it's probably not the best, but of course, it does the job, doesn't it? But then, as my pro Howard always says, it doesn't matter what happens back here on the backswing. It's all about that moment as you impact the ball. If you look at any golf swing, all the craziest ones in history, the moment of impact is pretty much always identical, really. So whatever goes on elsewhere is irrelevant. You've just got to get to that moment, and Rahm does that. I mean, he's just incredible. Rahm, what do you think about Rahm for USPGA?
Just very quickly before we get on to just before we leave Jon Rahm. To talk about him this weekend. I watched a really good interview with him yesterday talking about why his swing is the way it is. And I think there's a few physical things in there about him that have made that way. But he had a coach. And so he grew up in Spain, and the courses he played were very tree land, very tight. And he used to play with a massive, he could hit it a mile, but it could go big left, big right. And his coach was like, you just need to get it straight. So he said his coach spoke to him about as soon as the club is facing the air, so as soon as it's like there.
On the way up, you mean?
Right? On the way up. So on the way back, as soon as it faces the air, that's long enough. Just bring it back through as hard as you can.
Interesting.
And that's why he has this what looks like this 3/4 swing, because he can control it. And then he's a big guy. He said he was like, I think he was like 6'1", 6'2" when he was 16 or something. So he didn't need to go that far to get power, but then he just kept it so straight.
My worry about Rahm is the wrist. So the wrist bows right open, right? So if you get your wrist out and you take your left wrist and you bend it down as far as it'll go. Now I've got problems with that wrist. That's the one I broke. There you can see the scar. So that wrist, it doesn't like too much pressure on it. But what Rahm is doing to that wrist, I worry about it, because the strength it's got to have and all the tendons around there on the turn, that feels like a lot of pressure that you're putting on that.
That it could be an injury incoming.
I really think that, because when you think about the forces that he puts on it and the turn, I mean, he's incredible. And he had polio, didn't he, or clubfoot or something like that when he was young.
Yeah. He had something when he was younger that's really affected the way he swings the golf club. But it was also put into him just to keep it straight down the middle for these tree-lined courses in rural Spain where he grew up, which is quite interesting. But he's a contender. He is a massive contender this weekend. I was listening to someone else with someone saying that never before has golf been so wide open to a range of people who could win.
Great. This is what I've been saying, and this is part of the narrative of how sad the live thing is in a way. It's just we are so spoilt for great golfers at the moment. When you've got a Cam Smith wandering around, or a Brooksy, or DeChambeau even. Like, there's just so many personalities. And so many stories, you know what I mean? It feels like there's narratives everywhere. Look, let's go through, Tom, all right? Let's have a look at some of the three balls, right? In terms of
Yeah, so they've split up the top three, which would normally play together. Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm would normally play as a 3-ball on the Thursday and Friday, but they've actually split them up.
Yeah. But that's when you look at this, like you've got this is teeing off at 7 p.m. on the Thursday. This one tees off. You got Cantlay, Ricky Fowler, and Phil Mickelson, right? And in front of them, which is a shame because you should have put this guy behind Cantlay. In front of them, you got Tyrrell Hatton, Dustin Johnson, and Schauffele. What a 3-ball, right?
Oh,
Imagine,
wow, that's brilliant.
Tyrrell Hatton behind Patrick Cantlay. There'd have been a fight by the 5th. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it would have been amazing. It would have been absolutely amazing.
Such a shame. You've got...
Have you noticed they've put Rory with the no live golf guys?
Yeah, I have. And Rory has been talking about that this week. There's been, as ever, the press attention goes on to Rory, and he's just kind of... He's negged the whole thing and said, no, I don't really want to talk about it. And he's switched off the live chat, which I think is really significant because he's realised that. As we discussed in the Masters, do you remember, was it the Masters or TPC, where he had like a 4-hour exec board meeting before his round?
Yeah, the day before, and then he blew up. Yeah,
the guy has been like club secretary, club captain, and in charge of catering. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, he's ended up becoming a bit of a poster boy for the PGA Tour, and is getting dragged through everything to support them. And I'd have thought Tiger would have taken more of a role doing this because he sort of feels that more elder statesman of the tour and is playing less golf, so maybe has more time to think about it than Rory does. I just don't know about Rory. Every time you go on your Sky Bets or whatever, he's always up there as someone who could win. And I just don't see it. I just don't see him getting it done.
I think last year
now
was the year he was going to do it, and he was in a really special mental place last year. I think he was still riding this sort of wave of having young kids and feeling just like, who cares about life? I've got my family and I've got my unit, and golf is fun. And he was doing all these things, and I feel like that's come off the boil a bit this year mentally. I think physically he's what a specimen. That's not an issue. It's all upstairs.
Yeah, you must get to a point in your career where, how long is it since he's won a major? 7 years, something like that. It's a long time, maybe 5 years, something like that. That's a massive hurdle to get through when you've not got it done for so long. Like, how long is it before the questions start arising, going, oh, is it even possible now? Have you still got this in you? Or are you always going to... Rory always struggles with shooting a really bad round on a Thursday or Friday, then spending the whole weekend sort of making good the errors that he made earlier in the week.
Yes, that's right.
And
yes.
How do you get out? How do you get over that?
I completely agree. And it's that thing of having to fix the mistakes you've made on the weekend. You shouldn't be doing that. The winner is always just marching forwards. So I just don't see it. I would love to be proven wrong, because obviously I adore him. But look at this elsewhere. Other 3-balls, right? Keegan Bradley, Jason Day, Bryson DeChambeau, right? That's brilliant. There's so many absolutely amazing 3-balls.
Keegan Bradley's a nice guy. I see him. He does a lot of stuff with a YouTube channel called Bob Does Sports that I really like, and he always seems up for a laugh with those guys.
Yeah. It's just everywhere. I mean, look at this, and this is the best 3-ball. Oh, hang on, this is insane. Have you already mentioned this one? The one that goes off at 1:30. Are you looking at this? So this will have gone at half 1:30 today. Fitz, John Rahm, Cameron Smith.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely,
and then
brilliant.
Before that, you've got Rory, Morikawa, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, that's a great 3-ball. But look, no live players. There's a reason they've kept the live guys away from Rory, because all the guys in the top 3 have got a live player with them. Apart from Rory. I don't know. I'm still sad that live golf has taken away the golfers I like watching every single week on the tour, and it's sad that I can't see them. And I mention this. I mean, every time I play golf, this will come up at some point during the 18 holes. To whoever will listen to me, I'm just sad it's ruining the sport.
Yeah, I know. Are they coming to the Centurion soon?
Yeah. So live golf returns to the Centurion in June, July. It's coming back, which I think there's a lot of talk with golf, like golf YouTubers and stuff, about people who are going and people who are not going, and will you go, won't you go, is it right to go, do you want to go and see it? I want to see it. Like, I really want to go along to an event and see what it's like, and witness what's going on, because it ain't going anywhere now. This is it. This is going to be for the foreseeable. What they did at Adelaide was interesting, so I'd like to see what they do at the Centurion. So I'm gonna go.
Who is going to win the USPGA? Also, by the way, I've just seen 25 past 5. Sam Ryder's going. I mean, he came second in Eurovision last year. Who knows how he could do?
Yeah, lovely long hair,
flowing locks.
Lovely long hair
out there on the course. No, it's Sam Ryder.
Who's going to win the US, the PGA? This is the most boring answer, but I think Scotty Scheffler could do it, to be honest with you. When he gets on a run, he's pretty unstoppable. He's one of the bookies' favourites. He just doesn't make a mistake. But you could say the same about Jon Rahm. I don't think Rory will do it. No. Cam Young, I would like to do it. I think Cam Smith is such a good player, and I don't think he's been affected by going over to live and not playing with a really aggressive field every single week. So I love Cam Smith.
Who's going to win it? Yeah. Who is going to win it? Stop listing off people.
Who is going to win? I think it's going to be. I'm going to say something interesting. It's going to be Cam Young. Cameron Young.
Very good. I'm going.
Who do you
for
think?
Hovland, Victor Hovland. It's all.
That is mad. That is a mad shout. Wow. Okay. It's Hovland. All right. Okay.
Yeah, you keep digging, Tom. You just keep doing all that stuff, because we're going to find this clip and we're going to use it when Hovland wins. So that's fine, man.
Victor Hovland. Has he ever won a major?
He's won a major, but he's got the quality. There's no doubt he's got the quality. He's such a pure striker of the ball. Like when he's playing well.
That'd be mad. That'd be a mad Sunday if Victor Hovland won. I really think that'd be a mad Sunday.
Talking about the US, or
has he even won on the PGA Tour?
Maybe not yet.
He will have done. He must have done. He must have done
on the PGA. Definitely, yeah.
You, Phil, I'll find out how many times.
So we're getting towards the end of today's episode. Thank you very much for listening / watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on all the socials. Like Tom has been saying, we have got the Versus series coming very soon as well, and you can watch us sweat and get very tired out on the golf course. And that's about it, really. Also, get in touch with the show, the Toms at golfersruiningmylife.co.uk. We love to hear from you, and let us know, how is the season going so far? How are you playing?
Okay, he's had 3 PGA Tour wins, mate. That is a mad shout. This guy's not winning. This guy. Okay, so he's had best major results. He's had he came tied 7th at the Masters this year, tied 30th in the PGA, tied 12th in the US Open,
and he always looks like he's smiling.
Tied 4th in the
like
Open.
A Labrador sometimes always looks like it's smiling because they got that face.
Sure.
Just got this sort of default smiley face.
Okay. Well, the smiley face guy. Maybe he wins. All right then.
Hang on.
I love that shout from you. Okay, Victor Hovland. All right then. Okay. That's us done for another week. It was a PGA special and a bit of a insight into the Versus series, which is coming on YouTube very soon. Episode number 2 of the Versus. We are filming tomorrow.
Yes, very excited about that.
God, it's exciting.
I really enjoyed it. It's really good fun. Hovland's only 25-1, FYI, so it's not that crazy. So.
No, it's not. No, I'm being dramatic for comedic effect.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. See you soon. All the best.
Before you go, sorry, this is boring admin. We're having so many more listeners to this show right now, and I should have done this at the start, but I'm doing it now. If you're still listening, you've really committed, so cheers. Can you please go and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because we've not mentioned it for ages, and it does make a massive difference. I know some people have actually been doing that recently, so it's huge. If you can just scroll down on Apple Podcasts, you don't have to leave a written review. We'd love it if you did. Just click 5 stars. That's massive. Click that subscribe button so it lands in your inbox every single week. It means you can download it if you're on it. It'll be already downloaded, so if you're on a train or whatever and you're not got 3G, it's already there for you, which is I found very helpful.
Very good.
So
very
yeah,
good
that's
point. Yeah.
Subscribe, leave reviews. We really do appreciate it, and thank you to all the new listeners. Bye bye.